All right, hello guys, how's everything? This is Dennard Mitchell, the hottest youth speaker on the planet. And I'm here today just to give you part 2 of the secret to true success. Now, for those who watched part 1 of the video, and I'll give you a brief summary of it. We briefly talked about the secret for success. I challenged everyone that was listening to the video is to, number one, I want you all to dream again. Just like when you were a kid, you used to dream about the different things you wanted to do, the different things you wanted to become, the different places you wanted to visit. That's number one. I want you to dream again. But then number 2, I also challenged everybody that as it relates to the secret to success is to think about that thing that comes easy to you. Rather it's cooking, rather it's cleaning, rather it's building something with your hands, rather it's putting together this wonderful ensemble of clothes as it relates to fashion. What is it? Artwork, drawing, painting, crocheting. What is it that comes easy to you guys? And then the challenge was to find something you like to do and figure out a way to make a living doing it, because you can be so well that people will be willing to pay you to do it. So here's part 2 for that video, because a lot of people was hitting me back and they say, hey, this sounds good, but what are the next steps? See, I don't want to just give you all information. I believe information without application leads to fascination. However, information with application, you must apply it, you must take action, leads to transformation. My goal is that you are transformed by the information you receive once action is put into place. So, how do we live our dreams? How do we have that quote-unquote dream job? How do we conquer true success? Once you identify that thing that comes easy to you, the next challenge is to figure out a way to actually do it for a living. Now, there are 2 ways you can do it, and I'll give you 2 quick examples. I'll use myself as an example. As you all know, I'm a youth speaker. It's my goal to impact middle school, high school, college students. My goal is to impact them with the power of uplifting and positive words to help them realize their potential and then surpass their potential for themselves. That's my goal as a youth speaker. But I didn't start off that way. My background was actually in the funeral industry. I wanted to be a funeral director when I was younger. Now, the abbreviated story for those who don't know how I became into speaking, it was twofold. I was working at the funeral home one day, and then while I was working at the funeral home, I realized that, hey, I reached a fork in the road. I would get stuck working here, or I could do something better with my life. And I realized a trend started happening at the funeral home. A lot of youth were coming through there, dead. Because of poor decisions, some of them, and because of other people making poor decisions and they got killed. We're talking about suicide, we're talking about alcohol addiction, drug addiction, etc. But I kept seeing too many youth. So a part of me was like, Lord, I need to do something. I need to help these youth while I'm living and not while they're dead and it's too late. The second thing that happened to me, at the same time, I was constantly looking for something to do. And a few years later, a gentleman came to me and asked me, do I leave my options open to make money? And of course, I was young. I said, yes, I would love to. Early 20s. I said, sure, I would love to. He showed me this multi-level marketing business, which was called Quickstar. It's similar to Amway, and I decided to become a part of it. Completely changed my life. Because here was a business I had to get up in front of individuals and I had to do presentations. I didn't know this was going to be a part of my future, but I had to do presentations. And these individuals were not excited about the products that I was displaying, but they were excited about the message and how I made them feel as it related to dreaming and going after their purpose and living their life. So I merged the 2. I said, you know what? While I was going to these major conventions for this online business, I got absorbed in the speakers on stage, and I said I would like to do that for a living. And when I was younger, I always was giving compliments on, man, you speak well, or you can captivate an audience, or you are a great leader. And I was a peer mediator also too while I was in high school. So I started putting those things that came naturally to me, the gift of communication and connecting with audiences, the love that I got from this online business, the passion that I had for youth because of the funeral home, and I married the 2. How did I make that transition from doing those to speaking like I'm now as a youth speaker? I'm glad you asked. Well, I figured out a way to find what we call a dream job before you find your ultimate purpose. I aligned myself with jobs that will help me to become a better speaker. I left the funeral home and I decided to start subbing at a high school, one of the best decisions I ever made. I had a chance now to study my audience, to learn what works, to learn what didn't work. This was a chance for me to test out my jokes, to test out my material on them. In addition to that, I started volunteering at different youth groups to get around youth more, to learn more about them, to try out my presentations on them. And then I also started working for an organization that paid people like myself to do presentations, but it was presenting their information. So these were ways that I figured out how to align myself with a job until I made that transition to become a youth speaker. What does this have to do with you? Whatever that dream is, you're probably working a job right now and like, man, this has nothing to do with my personal passion. You're probably in college right now and saying, I don't want to just get into a corporate job because this is what I'm supposed to do. My challenge is for you to find something that's in alignment to your purpose. If you're interested in making videos for a living, photography, try to find a job in that area. Interested in cooking, culinary, try to find a job at a local restaurant so you can learn the ins and outs. If you want to own a restaurant, work at a restaurant and learn it. But if you want to learn how to do hair, get a job at a salon, get a job at a boutique, learn about fashion. Align yourself with a job that's going to help you to transition into your passion. Once you have passion, then your purpose comes. Guys, I hope this information was helpful. It was helpful for me. It helped me to lay a solid foundation. That's the best way to go. Or you can just jump into it. That's the second option. But I recommend the first option is to find you something in alignment to your purpose, in alignment to your passion, and then ultimately you can be making a living doing something you really enjoy. This has been Dennard Mitchell, also known as the hottest youth speaker on the planet, telling you that I challenge you to go out there and find that dream job that's going to help you. And once you can do that, you will tap into the secret of true success. Visit my website at www.dennardmitchell.com. Talk to you soon, guys.